Hey everybody! Today on the show we're going to talk about male nudity, which just means I'm going to say the word penis a lot of times, and if anyone would like to keep track of the number of times that I say penis, and please leave it in a comment below, I would love that. I want to see if I can set some kind of record for the Guinness Book of World Penises. I don't want the trophy. Katie 2000 wants to know, why is it okay for women to show their breasts and butts and sometimes even the in movies, but when guys pull out their privates, it's considered dirty and too sexual for a younger audience? Put another way, why have I seen so many female breasts on Game of Thrones, but nary have I seen a Lannister-peen? It's not just HBO. If you go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, as of 2012, 76% of the portraits of women are wearing nary a thing. The gents, they're all wearing some flouncy velvet. Why is it more acceptable for even an A-list actress to do a full frontal nude scene versus an A-list actor? I mean, why did I just say actor? To the point that when Watchmen came out, there was buzz about the CGI blue penis on Dr. Manhattan. In film, speaking of male nudity, you have Jason Segel in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. His full frontal nudity with a flaccid penis is played up for laughs. If Jason Segel had been aroused in that scene, it would have played completely differently. It's also not terribly surprising that we see more naked women than naked men on screen, because when it comes to Hollywood power dynamics, a lot of times films have historically been made to satisfy more of a male gaze. Even if we look again to the visual art world, the idea of the muse and what is beautiful has long been interpreted through the male gaze as well. Going back to Katie 2000's question of why we almost take it for granted that we'll see female breasts and butts and vulvas on screen, to get to this answer, let's quickly revisit the art world and actually classical antiquity. We have the Greeks making these sculptures of naked men that were called kouros. They symbolized virility, but also power. I think that association between male nudity and power is part of what, when we fast forward to today, makes a lot of people uncomfortable with seeing it on screen. I think that we read the aroused male nude as a far more confrontational kind of image than a female nude. Regardless of her actual state of arousal, a naked woman is considered a sexual object or a sexual image. A sociologist named Beth Eck interviewed men and women about their reactions to images of naked men and women. Women looking at images of naked women weren't inherently disgusted or made uncomfortable with the women, but rather were made uncomfortable at how their bodies compared to theirs, for better or worse. Meanwhile, not surprisingly, I'm assuming straight men whom she showed these to were all like, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much into it. When it came to looking at the images of the naked men, those same men were kind of all along the lines of, whoa, 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 no guy wants to see another guy naked. For the women, there was a mix of lust with shame and embarrassment, a knowledge that these really aren't images that I should be looking at. Quick note that, yeah, I'm speaking pretty binary terms right now because this is often a binary kind of conversation between penis, testicles, and breasts, vulva, and how we have culturally infused them with all of these different kinds of meanings. It's also interesting to think about how ethnicity plays into this. For instance, the stereotype of Asian men with very small penises. This stereotype first really pervaded American culture during a time when there was a lot of rising panic about the growing power of the Japanese. Stretching back even farther than that, you have the long-standing stereotype of black men as being hypersexual animals with larger than average penises who are inherently, because of those two factors, a threat to white women. So I wonder if that's another reason why we don't see naked male bodies as often as we see naked female bodies, because due to these kinds of stereotypes and these masculinity constructs, penises are, in many ways, the measure of a man. That is a threatening level of vulnerability. There's a lot more at stake, in a way, when it comes to male nudity. Or maybe I'm just reading way too much into it. I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, be sure to ask me your questions so I can give you some answers. Thanks everybody who watched and commented on last week's Ask Cristen video, why don't boys play with dolls? Sierra Lobo said, dolls never really appealed to me in spite of my gender, but I did and still do love cute stuffed animals. Blaine Myers commented, I'm a boy and I really like both dolls and action figures, but I also liked to build. I would build little fortresses for my dolls and they would go on epic adventures. Doll adventures. What fun!